Hi, this is Pastor Rick. I want to talk today about something that's interesting. I call it the love trap. Have you ever been tempted to fall in love with the wrong person? Have you ever been just drawn away by the emotional excitement of someone who lights your fire? Well, in Proverbs chapter 2, I love the way Solomon, a man who knew a lot about this topic, talked about it. He's in his 20s. He's writing about something he knows a lot about. It's the love trap. And he fell in it head over heels. So he understood it. But when he writes this, he's on the front end of that trap. And I think he understands it in his head, but he doesn't practice it in his life. But listen to what he says in Proverbs chapter 2, verse 16. And this is important. To deliver you from the immoral woman, from the seductress, he says, who flatters with her words, who forsakes the companion of her youth, and forgets the covenants of her God. And her house leads down to death, and her path to the dead. None who go to her return. Now that is a man who knows. It seems to me that a guy who knows this much would have made right choices in his love life, but he didn't. But he passes on some information to us that I think we can apply. Now, in the context, he's talking about an immoral woman, but let's not jump on women here. This is about people who love wrong and who make moral choices based on their temptations and their sexual desires. You know what he says? You need to make sure you check that part of your life. Let me ask you something. Are you a person who, on one hand, you pray, you talk to God, but on the other hand, you fall into the love trap? You fall into the temptation trap where you are always on the verge of compromising. You know, one of the most fascinating studies is the study that compares the moral behavior of people who confess to be born-again Christians and people who don't. There's not that many points difference. In some studies, it's only 10 points. In other words, you're 30% likely to commit fornication if you're non-Christian, and you are 28% likely if you're a non-Christian. There's almost this sometimes close proximity. Sometimes you are not as far away from what you thought you left in the world if you're not careful. And I love the way that Solomon calls us to look at that. Are you falling into the moral trap? Are you compromising your walk with God? If you are, here's a time for you to pray. Father, let this be a moment where we review our lives and see if we're compromising our values and compromising our vision morally. It's so easy to compromise and lose our way. Help us to hear the warning that Solomon gave in our lives. In Jesus' name. My name is Pastor Rick. I hope this helped. Be blessed today. Bye-bye.